That would be one of the neat little things.
They create a fun game.
Yeah. And here we go. So Malzahar, first ban by MVP. Oh no.
Really?
Here we go.
We were joking. We were joking. What?
Here we go. Oh man, the look on that guy's face right now. He's like, no, no.
Not like this. Please, SKT, not like this.
Let's see. Let's see if they let all of them through. Because the other problem is, what teams are going to be sane enough to actually be practicing those champions outside of solo queue? Oh no. I think, all right, Zyra, here we go. Oh no.
All right, the guy with the notepad is having a lot of fun now.
So when they choose not to ban one of them away, when they do go for the Zyra ban, that basically takes away all chance of MVP being able to salvage it if SKT do go for it. And so that's why the Zyra ban is so big. Now they're going to be able to respond with one of them, but it's too late. And that's why that Zyra is so catastrophic. Oh no.
Well, they can take one, and SKT is going to get one. So it's not the situation where MVP gets one and then SKT gets two. So at least they are able to stop that situation.
We're like watching Pokemon right now, Brendan. Who gets Ho-Oh and who gets Lugia? Like,
well,
right.
Camille is the most broken, so we'll start with that.
So Camille, so now we're gonna instantly have a response by SKTelecom. And there's Rise, but where's the cat?
Rise Rengar, I think 100%. Because you can't give Rengar to MVP too.
Yeah.
That would just be insanity.
So Rise now being picked up. And honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest that I don't know if that Rise is in mid lane. And I'm wondering if SKTelecom, there's one player in Korea, well he's not in Korea, but he's a Korean, Khan, who's extremely high up on the solo queue ladder. He is notorious in Korea for his top Rise against Korean challengers. And I'm wondering if Rise is potentially SKTelecom's response to Camille.
It's kind of interesting. I haven't seen that matchup myself, because Camille gets banned every game, but...
So now MVP finalized their draft order with the Olaf and the Varus. Don't want to give SKTelecom red side Varus. So SKT going to respond here with Ashe. With Malzahar having been taken off the table now, MVP do have the option of banning away Misfortune and Karma.
Okay, it's going to be Thresh here. Covered for SKT. They will ban that out. So definitely targeting the supports at least, as you were saying.
Support is the most crucial role now going into the second pick and ban phase. And we'll have to see what MVP does. It looks like Karma is being hovered, and that just leaves Misfortune remaining. And with Thresh having already been taken away, feels like SKTelecom are prepared for this and entertained it as a possibility.
I want to see two more big supports banned, and we have just two new supports to make this game even more fun.
So, oh, SKTelecom now with the Misfortune, and they might be anticipating that MVP was planning to ban it, and now they're going to force MVP to come up with a ban on the spot.
Only 20 more seconds left to do that. You got to make a decision here. After this ban phase, the first pick goes to red side, so SKT will have their pick of the litter, Katarina. So
Katarina being hovered, and it is banned away, so MVP is actually entertaining the possibility that that would be a top Rise. So SKTelecom now, Tom Kench. There's only a few supports remaining with this many support champions banned. Basically, you're limited to Braum,
Zillion,
Braum, Zillion, Bard, Tom Kench. Not too many things remaining. A lot of people probably screaming right now about Jana. No, we said a support.
Is Max the Bard player, or is that Key?
Key is the Bard,
okay.
The guy that popularized Bard.
Both of them have 3-letter names. So, yeah, gonna take that Corki.
Gonna take the Corki away, and we'll see how they finalize their pick. It almost looks like they don't know what to pick here. This is definitely a curveball of a pick and ban phase that MVP was certainly not expecting.
Oh boy. What are they gonna pick? Okay, it's gonna be Zilean. Last second pick there for MVP.
So the final pick is over for SKT, and again, the Rise could potentially be top lane, so we could be looking at what Faker's gonna play. Instead, we're having a hover on Singed.
Singed against Camille.
I have absolutely no idea how that matchup goes, Brendan.
Yeah, I mean,
I can tell you about Tom Kench versus Camille. We can sit here for hours and talk about that matchup.
Yeah, man.
But I cannot tell you about Singed versus Camille.
Well, we're going to find out. I would hope that the Observer shows us a lot of top lane, because that's going to be very interesting to see. Huni on Singed as well. It's kind of interesting. Weird pick.
Weird pick indeed. Not a common pick that you would expect to see. Normally you would expect to see him against a tank. But we'll see what they can do with it. I feel like MVP's team composition is not something that we're expecting to play. It's definitely not something that they're probably practiced in. Whereas SKTelecom, if they were willing to ban like this, you can probably assume that whoever they've been scrimming against, they've at least got a little bit of practice in a situation like this. So MVP is in their world right now. Not that they weren't already.
Yeah. So everything is locked in and set to go. Game 2 is loading up. And we're about to witness a game with both Camille and Rengar.
The crazy old gray woman and her crazy cat got through.
Very interested to see how Peanut's going to play on that Rengar.
And here we go. We're about to go into game number 2. SKTelecom with Rengar, MVP with Camille.
Seems like MVP is pretty... They're having fun with this. Maybe they feel like they've already won because they have Camille. Once it gets to late game, Camille's going to be insanity if she gets fed at all.
And I mean, this goes back to that point I made, that as soon as the Zyra's locked in, it denies the ability to try to ban away both, in which case the opponent would end up giving you one.
Yeah, so we are just about ready to jump into this one. You guys are reading that correctly. It is Camille and Rengar still here. We're going to have Singed versus Camille in that top lane. Let's see how it goes down now, going into game number 2 right now.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Well, they're really trying to make up for that game 1 with the cheer. See if it works out. Camille looks like something from my nightmares.
Camille looks like, speaking of Pokemon, by the way, which is one of the main topics tonight, Camille looks like Deoxys.
Yeah.
That's what Camille is. Camille is Deoxys. That's Lickitung.
We figured it out, right? It's been getting their ideas from Pokemon this whole time.
That's exactly it. And when Rengar gets some chromas, he's going to be Raikou. That's all that matters. All right, so Ed, maybe looking to make something happen early on. Camille can go for the stun level 1. We saw that in Camille's last appearance in LCK. Just looking to apply a lot of pressure early on. Oh no. Okay.
Here we go again.
Also, important to note that Ian did not take cleanse against Faker's Rise.
Here we go. Here comes Ed right on in. Gets the stun down. Gatling gun, but Ian he wasn't far enough forward, so not able to land too much damage. Faker's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Took a little bit of Faker's HP, but not going to be the end of the world. What this is going to give away, though, is that Beyond started on red side, able to get the leash from his bottom lane. Ed able to get back to top lane in time, not to miss too much.
So, very interesting matchup, this one. Excited to see how it's going to go down. I mean, I guess any time that you engage as Camille, you're going to get poisoned. So Sins can take a trade like that.
Wolf, don't believe... Okay, going for a little bit of a trade there, but something that is interesting is that Zillion Bombs will not deal damage if you're inside of Tahm Kench's stomach. So even when Max tries to go for Bomb Poke later on, levels 3, 4, and 5, as long as Wolf can actually eat Bang before the bomb detonates, then it won't end up doing anything.
Yeah, goes back to the draft phase where they took a very long time deciding what their support pick was going to be. Here comes Beyond. Up into the top lane. If we could see a stun land on the Huni, he gets the slow. There's the undertow. And he's going to have enough for one more, and that's going to be first blood going on over to Olaf. An assist going to Camille, so not a good start for SKT.
Not a good start for SKTelecom, indeed. Camille, not a champion you want to just keep getting ahead. And with Beyond picking up a kill, definitely propels him a little bit further ahead than Peanut. He is down a level and he is losing his golem, so on that front, Peanut's able to do quite a bit. Not sure, actually, if MVP saw the mini golems pop out from the brush. That would actually give away Peanut's location.
Oh, look at this. The exhaust going down super early. Here comes Peanut. Teleport going to come in, and it looks like SKT is going to be forced back.
They did get the teleport out of Camille, though, and what that ends up doing is costing Ed some experience in golden top lane. Also, take a look at the level up in top, because Beyond and Ed shared experience. Huni's actually ahead in levels. And despite all of this, the first blood gold, first blood assist, SKT is almost even in gold.
I don't know how they do it, man. It's pretty insane.
So right here, we see the replay. They knew that Huni was coming back up, and the lane was in a beautiful spot right here. And they get the kill onto Huni. Beyond ends up picking it up, but then the way that he walks back through the lane, he ends up sharing a little bit of experience.
And you can see kind of what Huni's doing. He's just pushing the lane over and over. Looks like Peanut's up in top lane too. Maybe he wants to make something happen with a dive. But for now, he's just going to be going into the blue side jungle, checking things out.
Basically keeping tabs on Beyond where he can and can't be.
The trading seems to be very even in the top lane, at least.
Yeah, that does seem to be the case. Huni probably going to look for a recall right around now. Peanut hanging around in case anything would happen. See, he places a ward, and now Beyond moving into his left side jungle. Not going to find anything there, and so Peanut able to just slowly but surely establish a pretty big lead over Beyond. He's been able to eat double golems so far this game. And meanwhile, in bottom lane and mid lane, SKTelecom have slight advantages.
Yeah, somehow, some way, even with the gank early on, SKT sticking around, making it hard. It's one of the things about them. When they get ahead, they snowball it so fast and they get super far ahead. When they get behind, they don't get rolled. They know how to like slow the game down and just, you know, keep things even enough, even if they are behind.
Definitely seems like they know exactly what to do in a lot of different situations, and there's that Zillion passive doing some work, ends up putting Maha at a level lead over Bang. Not a lot of chaos though, and this is something that SKTelecom don't typically do early on. We saw it in last game, we've seen it in all of their previous games. You're not gonna go to max HP. And back down.
Yep. Bombs landing. Huni trying to keep the lane right here. Not going to push. or get close to Ad just yet.
One of the things that's interesting for me is the longer that this game goes on, I mean, the scarier that Singed and Rise is going to get, and I'm wondering if Camille's actually going to be able to do that much, because typically when you talk about Camille, you talk about a champion's inability to fight her. Well, Singed doesn't really fight you. He just sort of runs from you.
Oh, look at that, the flip into the tower. There it is, Singed coming through with the big flip.
Oh no, here it starts.
Here we go again, although Exhaust is going to save their lives.
Wow. Well, Huni finding a kill onto Ed. And, I mean, in bottom lane, everything almost got really chaotic there too. Peanut using that CC immunity, then being able to be picked up by Wolf. They have to be really careful here. I love Beyond's positioning, knowing that there is a potential dive that SKTelecom could look for. But instead, it seems like Peanut's actually just back up, and he's going to hand over the blue to Faker. And look at the CS deficit up in top lane. The double Dark Seal Catalyst complete now for Huni. I don't feel like Camille's going to be able to do anything to him for a while now.
Yeah. Just has to sit back and farm from behind, I suppose.
We'll take another quick look at this. And so Huni got pretty low on mana, but still had enough. He pops his ultimate, so he's getting all the enhanced regeneration. And you can see that Ed thought he was a lot safer than he was, because honestly, how often do you have practice in this matchup? And then Huni throws him right into the turret, and with the aid of that, he was able to win the Royal Rumble.
You see that little dance Singed did once he got the kill?
Yeah.
He was very happy about that.
Losing lane with Camille. Not something I think any LCK
in 2017.
Pro. Yeah.
What face?
After a first blood assist.
Yeah, I think it really does come down to he just didn't expect that amount of damage and the flip into the turret. I mean, I feel like he should have expected the flip into the turret, but maybe not the amount of damage that Singed can actually do. Here's Beyond again.
Beyond's just not finding anything, and if you don't find anything on Olaf, he suddenly becomes the worst champion in the game. So the first blood that he got was then just followed up by an inability to do anything because of how Peanut controlled Beyond's jungle. Very nice by Ed, reading that Peanut was probably up in top by the sudden aggressiveness.
Here's Faker looking to take a trade here against Ian. The farm is pretty much dead even right now.
And one of the things that I have to talk about is SKTelecom are allowed to go this aggressive randomly because MVP has to respect Peanut.
Yep, really does. And Ed is going to learn some respect after this kill. Down he goes. Peanut picks up another kill onto this Camille. And, well, we said Camille was super strong, but not really showing that strength so far.
Not really showing too much strength indeed. Faker missed one of his skill shots.
Oh, and look at this. Trying to go on to Bang, but the heal is going to save him.
Oh, no.
Ooh, he's taking a lot of damage. That Kench is certainly unbenched in this game. And here comes Huni, the double teleport, and Singed wants to have a word now with the Clockmaster. Gonna go on to Maha, and now Ad is just taking so much damage. I feel like Wolf has to back off. Huni actually not able to get the kill there onto Maha, but here comes Peanut. Look at how low everybody is on MVP. Oh, the flash, he's trying to pick up some more kills. Wants to go on to Ian there, and down he goes, but Camille actually gets a double kill.
Camille gets a double kill because they push on too much. Beyond was nowhere to be seen. And SKTelecom, they pick up a lot of kills, they pick up a lot of pressure, everyone's forced out of their lanes. And at the end of the day, two members of SKT going down, but so much position gained. We'll take another quick replay how all this unfolds. So Faker going on to Ed to lock him up. Huni couldn't find a kill onto Max or Maha as fast as he would have liked, and you can see that Faker and Wolf couldn't quite get Ed down low enough. Huni turns his attention over to Max, but it's really late. Peanut actually comes in here, misses the bullet strike because he flashed away, but then he leaps before using Q. I think if he used Q before leaping, there's a weird interaction with the brush on Rengar where it would still count as his ability to leap, and he could have gone a little bit further. So I feel like Peanut made a micro error right there. Not entirely sure, but nonetheless, they were able to push on through. Ed gets 2 kills thanks to the turret, but SKT come out really far ahead.
Definitely so, and they pick up another kill in bot lane as Maha gets caught. And just as you were saying, like Singed, he just kind of runs around you, does damage. He's not really going to fight you straight up. And Huni just extending that lead, now 30 CS ahead in the top lane at 13 minutes into the game.
And Peanut just continuing to move through the jungle, getting some deep vision control down with Wolf. Beyond recalling.
They've given up on bot lane. Max is just going to start walking around the map. He went really far back. They were so scared about a gank.
Now, Huni and Ed trading more and more up and top. Righteous Glory already completed for Huni. Fang sends out a Hawk Shot to keep tabs onto Beyond. Now they know where he is.
Faker doing a ton of burst damage in the mid lane. Ian's got to be really careful. That last minute Valkyrie. And he does survive.
Faker now moving over onto the right-hand side of the map. He might just want to solo his blue while Peanut takes away the blue buff away from Ian. Never mind, they have their sights set on Camille.
Poor Camille, man. In she comes, and she's met with a very angry cat. Gonna be flipped back. Huni taking a lot of damage, has to be careful. Yeah, they're just gonna have to back off here. And they cannot secure the kill onto Ed. And here comes Olaf and Ian with the big package. They're gonna look to make something happen here. Let's see what they can do. Coming on in here is Ian and Beyond. They want to go on to Ad, and Peanut is going to be punished for it. Is not going to be able to kill him. Down here in the bot lane. Oh! Oh, nice flash there. Trying to turn now onto Bang, but doesn't have enough mana for a piercing arrow, so just going to have to back off.
Just barely missed out on that kill. Max did not have his ultimate available. A little bit unlucky there for SKTelecom's bot lane, but a pretty big break for MVP.
Faker wants more blood.
Yeah. Faker continuing to trade against Ian. Ian under constant pressure in mid, almost a 30 CS advantage here.
It's the Faker effect.
Just let to do what he wants, and we're getting to see the gold difference between all the lanes. You can see that Beyond is a little bit ahead of Peanut, but meanwhile up in top lane, Huni with a considerable gold lead over Ed. Also 2 levels.
Yeah, it's really nice. He just walks around Ed. He's never really fights him. Peanut aggroing the Rift Herald, but decides to come on in here, potentially to go for a gank. But here's Beyond. We're going to have a bit of a 2v2 situation. You see Faker's coming in as well.
Oh, and here it comes.
Yeah, here he comes. Peanut going to jump onto Ed. Look at that damage. Beyond trying to turn onto him, but he is going to go down. And here comes Huni. He wants more blood. And Ed is not going to be able to get away. Nice ward into the brush. And that is 2 more kills going over to SKT.
2 more kills over to SKTelecom. Blue buff just up in time for Faker to come and get that. And they put it on Faker. Peanut going to finish off that Scuttle Crab. And Huni continuing to proxy the wave, just waiting for a wave. He might actually be able to get first blood turret.
Looks like he will.
Yep.
If they didn't have enough gold already.
If they didn't have enough. Maha trying to get turret damage down. Yeah, Ed can't teleport to that.
Yep, not going to happen. So first blood turret going over to Huni. He didn't have too big of a game on that gangplank in game number 1. Oh, he's not able to Valkyrie the wall, and Peanut wants to go in on him. Exhaust, but the flash. Now trying to turn onto Peanut, but it's not going to be enough. Down Ian goes.
Meanwhile, Faker now down in bottom lane.
There's just so much action everywhere. Wolf on that Tom Kent's getting angry. Uh-oh, Faker almost dies down there in the bottom right.
Faker missed one of his Qs. Maha now, though.
Oh, Zillion ult. You want to keep him alive, but there's the teleport, and is it going to be enough? They want to give that kill over to Bang, and that they do. Bang somehow survives the bomb.
Yep. They turn on the ultimate at the last second. Huni is poisoned, ticking away. Not going to be able to find a kill, though. But Ed, nowhere to be seen. Meanwhile, SKTelecom going to raise the bottom tier 1 turret.
Yeah.
And I like how much everyone is just neglecting Cloud Drake this game.
Yeah, just ignore it like it doesn't exist. And I mean, this is what we were talking about snowballing with SKT. They go for multiple ganks in the top lane, they get first blood turret, and immediately Huni is in another lane with his teleport, looking for more kills, looking to snowball his bottom lane. Faker's there, everybody's working together.
And you can see that Wolf and Bang right here. Meanwhile, what we're not getting to see is Faker misses the kill onto Maha, but it doesn't matter as this team's going to pick it up in just a second. And you can really see that the extended trades are just constantly going in SKTelecom's favor. Zillion ultimate comes out right there, but then they have Huni be called down via teleport because he already got the tower up in top lane. It's not like he's hard-pressed to stay up there.
We have something going on live here. Maha is going to be jumped on by Peanut. Peanut is going to be eaten, but here is Camille coming on in. Wants to do a bit of damage and get Peanut, but he's on the run. Oh, nicely done by Wolf, but here's Ian. He's got something to say. Going to pick up another kill, and Wolf, looks like this time they did go a little bit too far.
Yep, went a little bit too far indeed. Really nice kill picked up by MVP. And Camille, 3-4-3 right now. Not quite at the stage where a lot of top laners would consider her untouchable. But it is very important that she is getting the majority of the kills for MVP.
That's pretty good. They need her to be a very strong late game force. That Varus and Corky definitely going to be very hard to deal with later on, as long as they can get farmed.
And now Huni is going to continue to push in the wave. He has the Raptor's Cloak. Not sure exactly how far away he is from the Zizirot portal. Faker now moving up to top lane as Bang is holding down mid lane. We're going to have to see where the next explosion comes from, as neither team really wants to invest into the capture of that Drake.
Uh-oh. Ad, did you go too far? Looks like Ian's looking to come in, but there is a ward, so Huni playing it very carefully, not going to overstep his bounds. Meanwhile, they finally decide to go for that Cloud Drake. Here's the big package being used by Ian. He tries the Valkyrie away, it's not enough, and he gets bursted down.
Huni told him that's not what I ordered. So finally, they're going to pick up Cloud Drake as Ian took a one-way plane ticket straight to the fountain.
Yeah, that was very interesting. When I was first picking up Corky, I used to do that a lot. Valkyrie into like 4 people and just get bursted immediately. I'm like, why did I do that? Ian asking himself the same thing.
Now, meanwhile, MVP are asking themselves, how do they respond to these split pushes that SKTelecom are doing? I'm not sure if Camille can actually go up to Rise either. I'm a little even questioning what is the proper answer because I'm so unfamiliar with this. And while they can resist this push, SKTelecom content to just back off. Ian being sent up to deal with Faker's Rise, but he's down 2 levels.
Yeah, it's pretty rough already for anyone who goes against Faker, but especially Ian in this game. Not having too much luck. There's a speed up onto Ian, but the blue buff is going to go over to Faker. So nice steal there.
Zizirot portal now completed for Singed, and while the gold lead is a little bit over 7,000 gold, the other important thing to mention is the level lead. So we're talking about how Faker's up 2 base levels, and we're talking about Peanut being up 1 base level, Huni up 1 level. And really the only person on MVP that's up a level is Max, and base stats are also worth a lot of gold.
Huni was actually baited into using his ultimate. It's okay, it's not that long of a cooldown. Get that eventually. Uh-oh, Faker might be in a bit of trouble. Here comes Beyond. Ghost, not used. But uh-oh. Camille, you pushed a little bit too far. Gonna flash the wall. But here's Peanut. Flashing that wall as well. And Ed is just going to do whatever it takes to try to get out here. Tom Kent's got something to say about that, and Bang, with a nice follow-up, is going to pick up the kill.
They pick up the kill onto Camille, and now Huni going to be content to just push down bottom lane, throw down that ZZ Rot portal, and that'll surely get a big chunk of damage off on the turret. Although it looks like Maha was moving down to try to deal with that, but meanwhile, Faker's going uncontested up in top lane.
Yeah, and Peanut's going 1v3. I think he pushes a little bit too far there. Oh, he's going to be eaten. Wolf wants to try to save him, but once he comes out, oh, just barely the edge of that piercing arrow does pick up the kill.
Yep, piercing arrow able to just nick Peanut before he was able to get away. And a teleport actually coming in. They're investing a lot to kill Faker. If they can do it, maybe they can go for a desperation Baron.
Look at that damage out of Faker. Oh, he baits it and flashes away. And he does live.
Very heavy investment, ended up not paying off for MVP. And now they don't have teleport on their side. They don't have an answer even to the split push that we've already been seeing SKTelecom coordinate against them. And now it's going to get even more difficult. Fortunately, though, for MVP, the next Dragon of the game is another Cloud Drake. So it's not like they're having to give up a Mountain or an Infernal, because it's difficult for us to try to entertain that they would get into a position where they would be able to capture it.
Kind of interesting there. Faker using his shield for no reason. Definitely a misclick. It's okay. Gonna go farm the bot lane. Faker already on 3 items. 24 minutes into the game.
8,000 gold lead here for SKT. Seems to be the norm. I'm going to be shocked one day when they're at an even gold amount at this time in the game.
Maybe when they play KT.
Maybe.
I think that's March 4th?
March 4th
3rd?
or March 2nd, I think.
Maybe it's
Sometime
March
in
2nd.
Yeah, it's in the first week of March. And SKTelecom now going for the Baron. MVP way out of position.
Yeah, they see it, but what can they do? Here comes Ian. Meanwhile, Faker's in the bot lane, and oh, here we go. Beyond wants to come in, and he gets the Baron. Uh-oh, big steal coming out of MVP. Huni going in. He's going to flip back Ian. Ian is just going to get demolished. Now Beyond on the run. Nice bullet strike there, but are they actually going to be able to pick that up? Ian does respawn and goes down once again. Now Beyond should be able to pay for it, but oh, look at everybody on SKT. Faker's got something to say, though, in the back line. He's going to pick up 1 kill. They turn onto him, but 1 auto attack away.
No!
Oh, man.
Max's bomb.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So MVP with a miracle Baron steal. And then they were able to win that team fight. And they're actually probably in position to get the Drake when it does come up, as they're going to still have the Baron buff alive.
Yeah, SKT is still 5.5k ahead gold, but definitely a big turning point in this game.
So we can see exactly what's happening. So Faker actually just deleted Ed in bottom lane, and then Beyond able to win the smite fight against Peanut. And when the extended trade ended up happening, they almost got Huni, but not quite. The Bola Strike coming out from Peanut, able to snare up Beyond, and then Tom Kent using his Devour, able to throw Beyond back into the team. But Maha and Max's damage was insane with all the AoE.
Max had a really, really good fight. That just, the ultimate timing was perfect. The redemption did damage to 3 members of SKT. He got the other 2 members there with his bombs. Great positioning and a really good fight for the support player.
Now MVP actually biting back at SKTelecom. SKT not very happy that MVP is within 5,000 gold of them.
Yeah.
27-minute mark.
This is not the way the game is supposed to go for him, or rather for SKT.
And it continues to close, as now it's only 4,000 gold. You can see pings going down on Cloud Drake. Wolf being caught out.
Yeah, Chain of Corruption, but you see Faker's just going to turn onto them and force them back.
So now Huni wants to place the ZZ Rot portal up in top lane. There is a decent chunk of damage on that top tier 2 turret already. Neither team really looking like they want to invest into capturing the Cloud Drake.
Faker doing a lot of damage here, but the push is on. Looks like they're not going to commit to it this wave, perhaps the next one. But SKT, they're setting up to potentially go in for the defense. But it is going to go down.
Oh.
There is the arrow onto Maha, but they're not able to convert that into a kill. And now SKT's on the run. Look at Faker down in bot. He goes down very, very fast to both Ed and Ian. And now Beyond's on the chase. If he can land a bunch of undertows, should be able to get a bunch of these guys. Wolf is going to be ulted. Down he goes. Bang gets deleted as well. And uh-oh, this game is turning around really fast.
This game is turning completely upside down in a matter of minutes, and now MVP, they might be able to actually capture an inhibitor. There's no wave clear remaining for SKTelecom. Peanut and Huni cannot stop this push. You can see Peanut trying to prevent at least their ability to rotate to mid after this, but SKTelecom certainly are losing an inhibitor here. MVP might actually try to push on. I don't think that they're going to be able to.
Yeah, definitely would be a mistake, so they're just going to back off. And yeah, they should be able to get out of this one. You can see Singe is on the chase, wants to make it so that they can't really recall. And actually, Peanut is rotating down there,
Peanut is coming in for a flank. And meanwhile, in the replay, so they get the Enchanted Crystal Arrow off onto Maha, but Faker goes a little bit too deep in the backline. When Ed shows up, it's too easy to lock him up. And I don't know why Peanut was running away from that. Faker should have been able to tell him that he had Ian. And now, meanwhile, coming back into live, it looks like flank successful. They're at least going to be able to pick up Max, and he does have a shutdown gold inside of him. SKTelecom pick up the Cloud Drake. And now SKT are the ones that need to find a way to stabilize, as the game is extremely close right now.
Yeah, definitely not out of this. They lose their inhibitor, but they're still up 3,000 gold. They're able to, you know, get the kill, the Cloud Drake. And Tuni can just happily farm the bottom lane with those super minions for now. I feel like also the Enchanted Crystal Arrow in that fight, and Peanut didn't really follow up. He was going into the brush in the river, so there was no real follow-up damage.
Peanut clearing out mid-wave. And I mean, Faker has successfully Flame Horizoned his opponent, by the way. I actually don't know if he did it sooner and I didn't realize it, but he's up over 100 CS.
Wow.
Everyone on SKTelecom are actually ahead in CS right now. But the game is pretty even, and with Baron coming up in just under 2 minutes, you can expect that to be the next major team fight. Everyone should have all of their summoners available to them for it, with the exception being Peanut and Maha.
Ian struggling to catch up in levels to Faker. Still down a level.
Zillion.
Yeah.
All right, and almost Guardian Angel now completed for Ed. Potential to die, or need to die, multiple times in a team fight if the Zillion ult is used onto him.
Yeah, so he can go very, very deep. Be a huge threat in the front line. Uh-oh. Faker, you got helted by that Camille, and here's Olaf, and we got more where that's coming. He's trying to get onto that teleport, but not going to be able to get away. And Ed survives as well.
They invested a lot to bring him down. Meanwhile, Bang pushing in mid lane, Peanut clearing out some wards, but Faker a little bit too far forward, and MVP capitalizing on that very quickly, able to bring him down. They even got his ghost out of him too.
So they're able to save their tier 2 mid turret and just back off into the lanes. Got to push them out. Huni just lives in the bot lane now.
Level 17, and Ed is only 15. And now Baron on the field. MVP might just be looking to burst this. Yeah, that looks like they are trying to do it. Peanut needs to be a hero if he's going to keep SKT in this.
But here comes Huni, and they're not really bursting it very fast. Chain of Corruption does miss, and look at this, Ad. He does have the Guardian Angel, and Peanut is going to back off, but they want to go on to Beyond. He's already taken about half of his health and damage.
You see defensive pings going down. Faker arrives in mid lane. You can see bottom never really getting shoved in that much despite having the inhibitor, and that's primarily due to the Zizirot portal minions, able to just stall that endlessly.
Yeah, also Huni staying down there, pushing that lane very far, doing a good job with that. Ping did go down. Faker was thinking about going down there, but eventually didn't. Looks like they want to defend the mid push.
Have their eyes set on mid tier 2 turret. Have to be careful here.
They've got a good setup, but at the same time, got to be very, very careful with how you push.
The Super Minion wave is actually enormous. They have to send Faker to deal with that because he has the ultimate.
Here we go. We got the Baron started. And now is definitely the time for Peanut to pull out all the stops and go for the Miracle Smite. Can he get it? He's going to run in and... Oh, he actually gets them! He gets them both somehow! And now Bang is getting ultimated here. So maybe they can turn. Here comes Faker, though, trying to come on in. And once he comes, it's going to be so much damage added to the fight. But look at the burst damage out of Ian. It's not going to be enough, though. And so many members of MVP super low. Peanut jumping out of that burst over and over and over again. And that is the turnaround they were looking for. A triple kill for Faker and the Baron. A miracle play by Peanut. Wow, what a play.
And that was a huge turn of events. I thought Peanut wasn't going to be able to get there in time, or even just get in range to get the smite, but the entire fight gets turned on its head. Ed dies twice through the Guardian Angel. They lose that item. SKT shoving in top and mid lane, and Faker picked up a triple kill. Huge turn of events, and now the game goes back into SKTelecom's favor. Just look at this. Baron, 77 hit points remaining. Really did not think that Peanut would be able to get that, and you can see that Ed trying to lock up Bang, but didn't quite have the damage to instantly delete him. Max ends up finalizing the kill, but once Faker arrived, you can see Ed in the top just basically hanging out. We see some Bush mechanics and Rengar mechanics coming out of Peanut, and then at the very end there, Max flashes away. But not sure if he should have flashed because his death doesn't change anything. Even if he dies there, it doesn't change the outcome of what SKTelecom can and can't do. Except now the problem is SKTelecom's upcoming push, you don't have flash for it.
Yeah, probably just an instinctual flash to get out of that one, but probably not the best idea. And SKT, on the backs of that, they get Baron, they get Elder Drake, and now the push begins.
And they're pushing bottom lane first. They're prioritizing that mostly because the inhibitor did actually go down again. So they want to even that up. You have Huni up in top lane, Faker in mid lane. So now they're executing a 1-1-3.
SKT gets their 6th turret of the game with that one. Now there's only 5 left as they continue to push all the lanes.
The problem that MVP is having right now is not just the Elder Drake and the Baron. It's also the fact that they don't have a proper response to a 1-1-3. If you want to respond to the top lane, then you need to devote Ed or Ian to it.
Oh man, here we go. Ed, he may have gone a little bit too far, but the turnaround actually, but nope, down he goes, and Huni is just invincible. He doesn't take any damage. And now he wants to come on in as well. And after getting that push, now you're going 4v5 against Baron Elder Drake.
Oh, Beyond.
Oh man, he may have gone a little bit too far. Peanut, he wants it, but not quite able to pick up the kill.
Meanwhile, Bang and Faker in mid lane, killing that final inhibitor turret. So this is, at the very least, will be 2 inhibitors going down for MVP. Faker now actually moving down to bottom, wants to get that lane under control as well. Oh, never mind, they actually managed to save their mid inhibitor, and Huni couldn't get the damage down to get top, so they just lose turrets at the end of the day.
They're going to try to push in one more time, get this mid inhibitor, but Ed is up. just respawned. And actually, they're just going to back off.
They have to back off. You can't risk gambling a team fight here with bottom inhibitor open. Death timer's not quite at a point where people couldn't respawn to save Nexus turrets, but still, it's not something that you want to gamble with for no reason. You have 2 lanes that are in your favor. There's no reason to throw that advantage away for no reason.
I was just laughing because I looked at the CS between Faker and Ian. That's, wow. Over 150. Ahead is Faker.
Going for the double flame horizon.
Yeah. See if he can do it by the end of the game. See, he's got 6 items.
SKTelecom, they might want to just play it super safe and wait for another Baron. Baron coming up now, actually, in less than 2 minutes, and they might just do that. Place the ZZ Raw up in top lane. In a Baron fight for SKTelecom, if they have initiative in the left side river, it's extremely difficult for MVP to actually work their way into that. Varus not quite as strong on blue side as he is on red. At least not at stopping the Baron.
See a ping go onto Faker, actually, as SKT is going to do that 1-3-1 with 3 guys in mid. But now they're looking to join up in the bot push, actually, with Faker, perhaps. And Huni, now he lives in the top lane. Okay, just going to pick up the red and then go back to mid. I mean, it's an open inhibitor right now, so if they can get onto that. It's already taken a bit of damage. It did regen quite a bit, but still pretty damaged. Faker might be looking for a play.
Peanut using his on the Hun to cause MVP to group up.
And look at Peanut, he's really just over there on the left side. Huni goes super deep. They're gonna try to burst him down, but it's not enough. Peanut comes from the left side. Maha survives though, trying to get onto Ian in the back lane, and Faker does do it. Huge amounts of burst damage coming out now. Bang in the back doing so much auto attack damage. That's gonna be a double kill for Faker, and 3 members going down, 4 members, as Beyond has to just run away. I don't think he's gonna be able to save this all by himself.
No, I don't think that Beyond is going to be able to do that. Olaf goes down, and the Nexus turrets are falling down around him. And that's going to be it. Game number 2, SKTelecom show us that Rengar beats Camille.
Yep, there you go. So nicely done. Was cool to get to see Huni playing Singed against Camille too. And that is going to be another 2-0 for SKTelecom T1 as they continue their streak.
Completely demolishing basically in every single game that they enter. This game, things got a little bit dicey because Beyond was able to get that Baron steal off away from Peanut. But then Peanut clapped back with one equally as impressive, getting the 2-for-1 and turning that entire team fight around for SKT, and they were able to drive it home. But MVP did fight back. I would even say more so than almost any other team has to date, and things did get a little bit shaky.
They showed some vulnerability, at least. So Peanut getting a nice little pat on the back. The MVP members, I'm not sure if they were expecting to win this one, but they did, as you said, you know, pretty good against the strongest team that we have in this entire league. So they should be proud of that at least. Who's your MVP?
I don't know
Peanut.
who you give the MVP there. Faker got caught out a few times. It can't be Peanut because he almost lost them the game with the smite.
But then he won it back.
Huni did a lot that game on Singed that I think that it's very difficult to talk about because it's all these micro aspects basically being built up. It might be Wolf again on Tom Kench. I'm not quite sure. It's really hard. For me, it's between Huni and Wolf. Because the Tom Kench Devour at so many points was actually really clutch and turned things around. And some of his stuns were also really crucial at turning some of the team fights. But for me, it
Yeah,
would be
I
either
could
one
see
of
that.
them. Yeah.
The Peanut play was nice too. You could make an argument for him. And not going to spoil anything, but we did just see who the other MVP is. Hint, it's not one of those two on their screen.
So right now, basically, we're probably going to be moving into the MVP winners interview shortly. And we're going to be handling to the analyst desk as well.
Yeah, so we're going to get to that in just a minute, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.